really nervous, actually. It's a big auditorium. There's Scott Goff out here, Roger Hack. Getting a couple posts in before I go on stage. Tagging the other comics that are here instead of talking to them.
Alright, so when we're recording, we'll probably stay about
But still, it's exciting, I promise. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Here's Danger.
This is on, right? Los Alamos, New Mexico, how are you feeling tonight? This is the craziest thing that I've ever done. I am back in my high school auditorium. This is the craziest thing, I can't even believe it. I haven't been here since I walked off campus 13 years ago to go to college. So this is insane to be back here. So I'm so glad to be back. Thank you so much. You guys are a nice crowd. You're a good-looking crowd, Los Alamos. So yeah, my name is really Danger. It's kind of strange. It's actually awesome. My life is amazing being named Danger. Except when I'm trying to get a job, or when I'm trying to meet a girl, or when I'm trying to open a bank account. You know what, actually it's not that cool being Danger. I don't like it. Every time I meet somebody, two things automatically go through their minds. They're like, right away, like, okay, this guy's parents named him Danger, so they can't be nice people. And then they raised him, so how nice could he be? Or option number two is he changed his name to Danger, so how nice could he possibly be? Actually, the strangest thing about my name, folks, is that my middle name is the letter K. This is a true story. My middle name is the letter K. This goes back from my dad. His middle name is the letter E. And apparently, he got out of the Navy and had, taken quite a bit of flack for that. So he gets out of the Navy before I'm born and goes to my grandma and he's like, Mom, the guys have been making fun of me for years. Why is my middle name the letter E? And she's like, oh, well, lots of prominent people have had a letter for a middle name, like John F. Kennedy, and Harry S. Truman, and Franklin D. Roosevelt. And he's like, no, Mom, no. That was like Fitzgerald and Delano, like those had meaning, like those stood for something. And she says, oh. Oh. He's like, oh. Mom, this is my life! Poor Dad. So, yeah, I moved down to Albuquerque. That's just kind of what you do, when you leave here, right? I guess. That's just what I did. I mean, everyone else was doing it, and I was like, everyone's going to Albuquerque. I have a beautiful 5-year-old girl now. Beautiful daughter. Absolutely precious thing. I swear though, she takes after me. She can scare me sometimes. Like the other day I walked into the kitchen and she was standing on the counter with the biggest, sharpest knife that we had. Just standing there. It almost gave me a heart attack. I was like, oh my God, no, Avi, oh. And she's like, oh no, don't worry, Dad. I'm not gonna cut you. I was like, oh, okay. Have fun. Love you. She's not even half as dangerous. I'm the most dangerous thing in my house. It's true. Like, the other day, I did a big no-no, okay? We let the batteries die in the smoke detector. Don't let this happen, guys. The same time, same day, perfect storm. I walked away from some grease and I caught fire in the kitchen. I did smoke damage all throughout the kitchen before I caught it. Be very careful, okay? Kitchen safety, folks. I know you think that's weird coming from a guy named Danger, but take safety tips from me, okay? I caught the whole kitchen, all this smoke everywhere, and my daughter, bless her heart, she's standing there watching me as I'm trying to frantically make sense of it and clean up the surfaces. You know, oh no, we're gonna have to paint. And she's looking at me like, oh, Dad. Oh, Dad, she's 5. Oh, Dad, Mom just painted in here. Oh, you're in so much trouble. Oh, man. You know what? This is nobody else's fault but yours, Dad. This is only your fault. Whose side are you on? My favorite part about that story is that after like the smoke cleared, you know, I had inhaled a little bit, putting out the, you know, situation in the kitchen. And I was out front, you know, getting a breath of air, and I was like gagging, like, oh, and I looked over and I noticed that my cat, Steve, had also inhaled some smoke. And he was over here going, and I was like, Steve, and he looked at me, and we had this moment, where like, and then it was ruined because I realized he was looking at me like, this is all your fault. No one's fault but yours. So I think the last time I was in this area, I think I was for my little brother's graduation, and I was out on the grass, and he came out with his, you know, his gown and his cap, all excited, his little tassel on his face. Graduated, brother, yeah. And his tassel on his face, he couldn't get it out of the way. He kept like. We're over here, dude, over here. You know, the family's over here, and he comes to meet us, and I'm like, hey, congratulations, man, what's this? You got your diploma and everything? He's like, oh, yeah, you know, I graduated summa cum laude. What's that mean? I was like, nothing. Nothing. Doesn't mean anything. You know, but the kids from this school, they're destined for great things. Same little brother, flash forward a few years, we're in the living room playing some video games at my house, and all of a sudden, he like jumps up like he's forgotten something. He's like, oh, and he grabs his keys, and he's running for the door, and right as he leaves, he turns around and looks at me and says, Danger, you need anything from Burlington's? I was like, the coat factory? He's like, there's so much more there than that. There's so much more in Burlington's. It's not just a coat factory, it's a classic mistake. People make it all the time. I have another older brother. He's a Texan though. He's born and raised in Texas. He's not like me. I was born and raised Los Alamos. Texas, different people, yeah. Got White Rock in my, you know, blood. Is that something people are proud of? You know? Chimisa Elementary! It's not about education, it's about warm fuzzies and cold pricklies. It was like a weirdest inside joke ever told at a time. So yeah, my older brother, my Texan brother, you know, I'm afraid that he thinks that I'm a lesser man, I'm a weak man, you know, and he wants to take me quail hunting. And I'll go quail hunting, I'll do that, you know, I'll prove myself a man. And I've never seen a quail before or hunted anything, but I'll do it. I'll go right now, you know, what is it? What do you need, like a dart gun or spears? What do you hunt quail with? Like nunchucks? I'll do it. I don't care what it is. I'll be hiding around in the grass, you know, I'll find a quail, knock it in the mud. I don't know, has anyone here ever seen a quail? That's like a big raccoon, right? It's like a dog bear. You know, it's like a, quail hunting, you know? That's how you prove yourself a man to your older brothers. If you survive the first quail hunt. I love animals, I'm kidding. I would never hurt an animal. I don't want to hurt any animals. You know what the weirdest thing about animals is? I have some friends back home that are like, oh, we gotta not eat meat, and save the animals, and have you seen the documentaries? And then they have a betta fish in a bowl on the shelf, shoved between 2 books in the darkness forever. That's where you live, betta fish. I'm like, why is it living like that? It's like, you can't trust it around other betta fish. You can't. It seems like it'd make more sense to let the fish fight and use, you know, like, wouldn't a betta fish rather like die fighting an honorable fish? then sit there like, you know. I don't know why his thumb's up. It should be down. Oh, sitting in his little tank. I asked my friend, I was like, what do you feed a betta fish? Like, what does it eat? And he's like, oh, betta fish, they eat like pellets. I was like, no. Like, what do they eat, like in the wild? Like, what does a betta fish eat? And I'm like, oh, you know, like whatever, dried stuff, anything laying around, you know, like whatever's in the river, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, a friend told me you can feed it like dried tobacco. And I was like, what? No! That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Tobacco is like the worst poison known to man, isn't it? It's like worse than cyanide. It's terrible. You're like sprinkling in there. Anyone here have cats? Where are my cat owners at? Cat owners? There's like 4 cat owners? Oh yeah, Los Alamos is dog people. Dog owners at? Where are you guys? I should have known. Sorry, back to the cat joke. Cat owners get woken up in the morning by a hungry cat, and that's just reacting to dopamine. Like, wake up, feed me. And you're like, ah! Could you imagine the same thing, except times 10, because you're addicted to a narcotic, and you're stuck in a bowl on the shelf, and you're trying to wake up your owner, like, wake up! Give me my breakfast! Wake up! Poor fish. Let him fight! That's all I'm saying. I love animals. I was with my mom touring through the country recently, driving around the beautiful northern New Mexico, and we saw this cow pasture, you know, like you see, and then suddenly like hit me, these fences everywhere, these horrible barbed wire fences everywhere separating us from the cows. What is this? Is that to keep the cows away from us? Is that to keep us away from the cows? Los Alamos? I mean, come on. I want to like screen print and like mass produce a shirt that just has like a hand holding a hoof. It's like barbed wire around it, and it just says, no more fences. No more fences. No, the shirt says, cow exist. Did you guys buy that shirt? Yeah. So, anybody here have a mom? Who's got a mom? Yeah, moms! I love my mom so much. She is a wonderful woman. She says the craziest things, though. I mean, come on. Moms say crazy things. My favorite thing she said is, just this Thanksgiving, I was driving back from California, I was doing some comedy out there, and I was planning on being at her house in a week for Thanksgiving. It was like a week before Thanksgiving. I'm talking to her on the phone. I'm like, hey, Mom, yeah, we'll be there like Wednesday sometime. She's like, oh, well, what time? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. We may leave in the morning. Sometime Wednesday. I don't know. I'm sorry. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, plan on being hungry. I was like, that's the worst idea I've ever heard. I'm just all sitting in the car, stomach's growling. Mom said, plan on being hungry. You know how much moms need to watch you eat? Come over, eat. Eat. You're not eating. I ate, I'm eating. I didn't see it happen. Mom will say the funniest things, yeah, but now I'm a dad, so that's a trip. Wow, like, I'm 29 years old, and I'm a dad, and I'm getting, look at this, I'm getting salt and pepper, I'm going all gray. It's crazy. I'm having like a pre-midlife crisis right now. It's not like the full-on midlife crisis where I get the motorcycle. It's like some sort of almost 30, I don't want to be 30, you know. So I went out and got some rollerblades. I'm trying those out right now. I feel younger. I feel younger. I have to stretch though. I can't just hop on them like I go into 6. I have to be like, I have to like stretch my, hammies out. Oh! Getting old. Gosh, but Los Alamos, you live in a strange town, I'll tell you what. I know because I'm from here, so I can talk about it, but gosh, Los Alamos. When I was growing up here, when I was little, the only thing here was one bowling alley in White Rock. And that was it. There was nothing else. Now that area is all overgrown by tumbleweeds, right next to like what is seriously like the most horrible Smiths on the planet, like the most terrible, like White Rock Smiths is like, like towels missing. You're like, oh my god! Remember like 15 years ago when right across from Smiths there was that giant rusty rocket ship that people could climb up and hurt themselves on? Rocket Ship Park! Can I just get a moment of silence for Rocket Ship Park? That was the best park in the world. Los Alamos, though, you gotta get your stuff together, you know, your cops, they're crazy. Every night the whole town shuts down at 8 o'clock, and all the police go out looking for anybody. They're just driving around like little hornets. They'll pull you over just for it's 10. Let me get to your window. Do you know why I pulled you over? No, officer, was I speeding? As my taillight? Because my dad said he'll fix my taillight. I don't know why my dad didn't fix my taillight yet. I'm like, no, it was just because I saw you out. So. How you doing? Yeah, I'm bored out here. I'm lonely. I'm lonely on the job. It's gotta be hard up here for cops, man. There's nothing to do except bust jaywalkers underneath the overpass over here. You have two of the biggest, most state-of-the-art, solid, you know, gold, probably not solid gold, I'm exaggerating, nice overpasses for pedestrians, and you're scrambling across it. The cops are nailing you. You guys paid for a brand new giant courthouse and jaywalking alone. That's all that was. Yeah. But you know, Los Alamos is got the upper hand on White Rock now because you fixed your Smiths situation, right? Yeah, but you upgraded your grocery store. Now you guys are up here all like, people from White Rock come up to your grocery store now like, please, they closed our Pizza Hut and our McDonald's. Please, let us in. Yeah. When I was in high school, I got my driver's license at the MPD up here. And remember, that was a strange place too. Los Alamos MPD. MPDs are already strange, you know. So I'm up there waiting to get my picture taken. This is back in the day when they still printed it out same day and gave it to you. Wasn't that awesome? How do we step backwards? I don't get, anyway. So I'm waiting to get my picture taken next to this very little old woman. And she is just the sweetest, most adorable little old, she's got to be like 3 feet tall. She was so tiny. And she had these big glasses on, and she's like, well, take my picture for my ID. And they had to bring in like a stool to get her high enough because the camera wouldn't tilt down low enough. And she's up there, and I'm like, okay, take my picture now. And they did. And then they gave her a driver's license. And they just sent her out. Bye. I can't do a comedy show up here without talking about Chili Works for a second. Let's talk about Chili Works, guys. Yeah. Unfortunately for the camera crew I brought with me to shoot this little thing, Jocilyn, awesome, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we didn't get here in time to get Chili Works, but I do have a Chili Works joke, which is pretty funny. Actually, years ago, I was visiting, and my best friend, Christopher Mortensen, the grandson of the voice of the Hilltoppers, Gene Mortensen. We were visiting, getting some, yeah, you guys know Gene Mortensen. You guys know him, good man, lovely man. You'd see him every day at Viola's. Go check him out. And yeah, we're at Chili Works and we're just ordering a couple burritos for his brothers, you know, the Mortensen boys. And we're up there like, oh, we'll take a green chili and sausage, and we'll take 2 chorizo with no meat. I'm sorry, red chili with no meat. It was early, it's one of those mornings. And we're like, all right, we'll take a couple sides of, a couple of waters, and and give us a bacon green. A bacon green breakfast burrito. And he's like, you want a classic? And I was like, the breakfast burrito with bacon and green chili? He's like, yeah, that's a classic. And I looked down at the menu, and for some reason, next to all the other orders, there's nothing. It's just like it lists the ingredients of the burrito. Well, I don't know if it's still like this at Chili Works, but it used to be that for that one burrito, it said bacon, green chili, and then in quotations it said classic next to it. I think this guy wrote that into the menu. Because I was like, okay, we'll take one of those. And he's like, one of what? Classic? He wasn't gonna give it to me until I said classic. He wasn't gonna give me the food. Man. But you know, you guys gotta be proud to be from Los Alamos, all right? This is an awesome place. You guys survived the Cerro Grande fire. What a bad time, you know? You guys are still up here, you know, improving the city, making everything better, improving lives. Be proud to be from Los Alamos, you know? There's a lot to be proud from in New Mexico, too. When I was on comedy tour through Texas, we stopped at the Alamo, you know, where Texans fought and died for Texas. And then we were, you know, touring through New Mexico, and all over the place, it seems, from Lincoln County, all over the place, every pueblo in the entire state, people have fought and died for New Mexico. And then we were in Arizona, and we were in a hotel there, and I asked the comedian I was with, Jason Green, check him out, he's hilarious. I asked him, Jason, like, what is the Arizona equivalent of, you know, the Alamo in Texas? You know, where did all that go down? And I may be wrong, but according to Wikipedia, nobody has ever died for Arizona. Not one person. There wasn't even a sign-up. It never came up. No one like signed like, I'll give my life for Arizona. And then Wendy's like, oh, okay, well, we can go home? Okay, but I would have done it. I would have gone. It just didn't, nothing. I'll tell you what I do know about Arizona, though. There is a town there called Kingman, Arizona. In this town, there is a Smith's grocery store, which is worse than the Smith's in White Rock. It's worse. And in this Smith's grocery store, there is still a VHS rental. And in that VHS rental, I went there, I was coming back from Jokes in California, and I stopped off, and in this VHS rental I saw these two morbidly obese women with oxygen masks fighting over the last copy of Broken Arrow, starring Christian Slater and John Travolta. They were like, you had it last week, Crystal! I get it this week. Anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure coming up here and telling jokes for you guys today. Thank you so much for having me. It has been, I can't even tell you, thank you so much. Thank you so much. There are some other comics coming up here that are gonna make you laugh twice as hard as I made you laugh. All right? So make sure to keep the applauses coming, because we have some amazing people. We have the Pleasure Pilots. The Pleasure Pilots, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Danger K Varoz, and you've been excellent. Thank you very much.